like to welcome the Ulster Fire Rescue Training Center, Frank Riddy, accompanied by his wife Mary Ann. Tom Whitbett and his wife Pat, Bob Bloom, Dave Allen, John Quick and his wife Ruth. Representing Bloomington Fire Department, Fred Hodges and his wife Penny. From Rosedale Fire District Commissioners, President William Moreland Sr. Sue Constable, Ray and Carol Prezioso, Janine Germain, District Secretary Treasurer Denise DeHart. From the town of Rosendale, Highway Superintendent Bob Gallagher. Don't beat up to me, Smitty, because I'm reading what was typed up for me out of CRE there. You should have been first.
No, you're not. It's a whole other thing. Because I never put Hodges as their last name.
Supervisor Jeannie Walsh and her husband Jack. Our Rosendale Police Chief Harry Soul and his wife Diane. At this time, I want to defer Congressman Gibson off to after we have a bite to eat to talk, if that's okay with you, Congressman. Okay. You tell Jimmy we're ready to serve the food.
How much we appreciate your service, and what I mean by that, I know how hard it is, and all the training that's required here, and then the updates, and then of course the danger in your work. I grew up in this. My dad was a volunteer firefighter for 37 years, and you know, sometimes you may feel that you're not appreciated, you know, because sometimes you get hassled right now, you know, as far as just the locality and people questioning that. But know that most everybody I know that I run into, they deeply appreciate your commitment to keep it safe. And that, if you remember nothing else about what I'm going to say tonight, that's why I'm here physically. When I got the invitation, I wanted to come and tell you that, how much we appreciate it. When I say I appreciate the family too, because you know, when the firefighters and those that work in EMS, that's a family commitment, because you're away from your family, and when that alarm goes, there's always a concern. What's that mean? You know, what does that mean for our loved one in terms of being in harm's way? And so we communicate. I'm communicating on behalf of 750,000 people to you tonight how much we appreciate that. And you know, I will tell you this too. The other thing that I really like about the way you guys conduct business is when you have dinners like this, you invite. You always do this. Everyone does. Your sister units. And when I was in the military, this was really important. You know, that when we would train together, we would fight together, and we needed to break bread together. You know, because you know, that's part of life. And you work hard, but you play hard too. And so I think it's great that we have the other the sister units here today. And you know, I also want to express my my gratitude to the leadership. Normally when I come to these dinners, we thank the outgoing officers, and then we welcome the incoming officers, but I think here we may be keeping the same jobs. I'm not even sure. I mean, you know, so, but that also says something about, you know, how much of a priority it is for you to stick with this, because I know the numbers are not particularly high right now, but that means the burden on each and every one of you is that much more. You know, it's not lost on me that I see a lot of the same last names. You know, and this is what I saw in the military too, is that a lot of times our servicemen and women are the sons and daughters of people who served. And for our firefighters, and for our first responders, whether they be in the ambulance or in our law enforcement professionals, oftentimes they inspire their kids to be involved too. And I'm very thankful for that. Because you know what? This model, I mean, it couldn't work. Without volunteers, rural America would go under. You know, we just don't have the reach to be able to have paid forces everywhere, and so we rely so much. The whole community relies on its volunteers. And it's even beyond what you do in your training and your responses, because you know that when something goes wrong in a community, you know, people, who do they look to? They look to the leaders in the community, which means they're looking at you guys. So, you know, on behalf of the people in the district, we say thank you for that. I do have recognition for those that are this year making a milestone. We have an official certificate from the United States House of Representatives, and it's conveyed to you with the highest admiration and respect. So thank you one and all, and thank you for having me here tonight. God bless.
Thank you, Congressman. Call on the chief now, I guess. He's got some awards to give out. President Bob Barnhart. Vice President Walter Prosser. My secretary here, Janine Germain. Treasurer Christopher Barnhart. Following officers: Chief Bill McNamara, Assistant Chief Nick Ryder, who's deployed in Afghanistan. Captain Chris Barnhart, Captain Joe P., Lieutenant Ray Preziosi, Lieutenant Jim Min, EMS Shannon McNamara, EMS Janine Germain, and Safety Walter Prosser.
And we really miss having them around. And the one that's really helping me out a lot now is my Captain Chris Barnhart over here. But all the officers, and we all have to work together. We get down. We have a new guy, Jimmy, coming up this year, and he's got to learn that he can move up to chief eventually someday. I'd like to recognize a couple people that do a lot for us every year. Is that Walter come up? Walter's been with us for 5 years now, this year. Appreciate it. Walter's done a lot. Becoming an EMT, did firefighter 1 right away, and he's done a lot. So thank you for your help. And here's the certificate. For 5 years of service from Chris Gibson. And here's one from Kevin Cahill's office. And there's a 5-year pin from the fire department.
Yay, Walter!
Thank you.
Congratulations, Walt.
Thank you. And we have Richard Cecily, which is not with us tonight. He's also 10 years. one is Matt Scarab, who has 15 years. And he's not with us. He's a teacher up in Skill or someplace that way. Corning. He moved up there to work up there. Here's a big one here. Who is he? Hey, Chris. Just step up here and get your 20-year pin. Fire department for 20 years. Volunteer. Thank you for the chief. Really helped with our district department. Thank you.
He's not even that old, is he?
He started out when he was 10. I want to thank Bob for 30 years of service.
Bless you. You too, napkin.
We have Marty's from last year, which is 45 years last year. Was a treasurer for our department for about 8 years, 9 years. And it's just, he's not with us tonight. Lindsay, come up, please.
Chief, I didn't break it. Whatever you think it was, I didn't break it.
Chief, come to the job. Bugger the hell out.
Joe has no life anymore. Joe's retired.
I live at the firehouse.
Joe kind of hangs out at the firehouse all the time now. We're going to get him a spotted costume to put on like our mascot for... This is for Joe for being our president in 2013 and 2014. And the clock for him.
All right, Jeff, big.
Joe is also a life member now at Rosendale Fire Department.
Excuse me.
Gates. And he's way back in line, he says, come on, I'm fire chief. I deserve to get moved up to the front of the line. So he wanders up to the front of the line and says, hey buddy, I'm the fire chief. I want to move up on line. And the guy looks at him and says, got his glasses down. I'm sorry, you got to go back in line with everybody else. So he wanders back out of the line, miffed, talking to himself, what the heck is going on here? This is ridiculous, this is stupid. So he gets back in line and all of a sudden looks to the front and his chief's car pulls up. This guy gets on with a red helmet, jumps out, all the angels salute him, and he walks into heaven. Well, this is BS, man. I'm going to find out what's going on here. I should be up there too. So he walks up there and goes, what's going on? This angel saluting. He says, hey buddy, don't you know who that is? That's God. He just thinks he's a fire chief.
That's why they use it.
Next plate has some more month. She's been one of our district commissioners for a number of years now. I'm not sure how many years she's been. And this is recognition of the job that she does to help the fire department. She made her Commissioner of the Year.
All right, sir.
Don't you have a joke, Sue? No.
And we also do a Firefighter of the Year presentation for somebody that, has gone above and beyond, trying to do the work that we should do, and We have a very good candidate this year, firefighter of the year. Let's call up George Lynn. George came was, we started roughly about a year ago, and in order to get his firefighter one in, he did it in 2 weeks. He took his vacation time and used it to better our department by taking the firefighter one course 2 weeks long. And I went last year. George, appreciate it. Thank you. Every year we try to do a little something, just for recognition, you know, whether it's shirts or whatever. But we did t-shirts this year for all the members. I would like to thank every firefighter here for your time that you spent at the firehouse and training, and just coming out when we need you, any kind of weather or whatever we have to do. I appreciate very much what everybody does for us. Thank you.
All right, you bet next. Really good. We do, Joe.
The good news is an ice cream cake.
We had to make this. All right, I'm sure I can.